Hello, everyone. Thank you for being there today. We will wait a few minutes in order that everyone can connect, and we will start.
And while we wait for the participants to arrive, so I take the opportunity to thank you all the network who's giving us this occasion to speak about OSOL and give a little feedback about our, because it's been a few years now, so it's always a pleasure to talk about what we've become and what we've done.
So I think we can start. So hello everyone. I'm really happy today to welcome Idriss from OSOL. I think you will explain later, but it's a real pleasure for me today because OSOL is created after Acting Space, and it's I used to work on Acting Space, so it's a very beautiful story. Starting with Acting Space, then go to ESABIC France. So I won't say more, just maybe to a little word about me. I'm Aurélie Baker. I'm the ESABIC France manager. And the ESABIC France is one of the ESABIC in the south of France. And we are supporting startup in related to space sector, or using data or technology from space. And we have supported 100 startups from now, so it's a big incubator, and we are very proud to welcome you also today. So I give you the floor.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Aurélie. So hi everyone, and yes, I'm Idriss SISAID. I'm the co-founder of OSOL, which is a startup which has been launched for a few years now. We created the company in 2016, so it's we were almost at the 5 years anniversary. So it's a long adventure that we've started a few years ago, and we are a company that are focused on bringing electricity and bringing energy to mobile situations and to mobile applications, basically. So this has been the DNA of our company from the very beginning. And as you mentioned, we launched the company after Acting Space, which is the spark which triggered this adventure. So while we were still students on our final year at the university, and I'll talk more about this adventure from Acting Space to the company that we are today. But ever since, we are thriving to bring electricity to mobile situations. That's really our vision about the company. So it started with space because I am a mechanical engineer, and then took specialization in space engineering and astronautics in Cranfield University in the UK. So I was very passionate about space and all space engineering that is related to the industry. So while I was doing my Master of Science in astronautics, was focusing on space systems, I discovered the opportunity launched by CNES, which is Acting Space. And at that time, the idea was to take a concept in the space industry and turn it into a business idea. So that's the objective of this challenge. So with my good friend Enrique, who is now my business partner, we were in the same class basically, and we took this challenge. I moved from London, from the bad weather of London, sorry for British people, to the south of France, where this challenge was being held. And during this 24-hour challenge, we took the concept of deployment in spacecraft and turned it into deployable generators. So that was the beginning of the project. So I guess all the participants are familiar with how it works in the space industry. When you want to launch a satellite, you basically take solar panels and then put them at the very top of the rocket, and then once the spacecraft is in space, you deploy these solar panels. And we decided that it was a great idea to also use it on Earth and have deployable solar generators, which you can take with you to remote locations, to the mountains, or to any place where you need electricity and you don't have the grid nearby. And at that time, there was the Nepal earthquake, which actually had a very big impact on us. And we related to this as, this solution could, probably save lives. We don't know. It was a very ambitious vision that we had at the beginning, and we decided that we should take the challenge on, and we won second place of this competition, and decided that we should start the company. And we, as engineers, focused immediately on designing a very fancy deployable solar generator with mechanical complexity and very interesting engineering piece of technology. We rapidly prototyped something, and we had deployable generator, which basically you can put in the back of a truck instead of on top of a rocket. That was the very beginning of the story. And for the next couple of years, basically, we discovered that starting a company is not just about technology. It's not only about creating an idea and having something really tech and putting it there and waiting for the needs to come. It's not really how it works. So we had to become entrepreneurs more than engineers. And for the next years, we basically trained ourselves, learned to listen to the market, and steadily becoming more business than we were engineers. Because what we ended up with after a year and a half into the project, we had this very massive 1.50 meter in height solar generator, which could deploy 3 square meters of solar panels, which was massive prototype. But basically, it was very difficult to industrialize, and basically the need was quite small because it was too complex. So as we moved on into this adventure, we learned to make good decisions and have a good balance between, of course, the need of the market, which is the most important thing, basically, when you launch a company, the technology, which we had as a background, and our capacity to go into industrialization. So we moved from this massive generator, and there is one video that I shared with you already where you can see this big prototype, which almost as tall as I am, which quickly become just a version 0 of the prototype and moved into something smaller, quite fast to prototype, and quite not as costly as the first prototype. And we discovered that we were developing solar generators, and that in the market, the need for solar is on one hand, but the need for electricity is on the other. So most of the time, people need electricity. They don't necessarily need solar. So we decided to cut the product into 2 pieces, basically have a solar aspect and the battery, so the storage, where basically you can provide electricity after transformation. So in the product, I don't know if I can share maybe the video, so it will be easy to understand. So
you should have the end to share it.
So am I sharing it?
Yes, you can. I give you the end.
Okay. Right. So let me know if you see my screen.
Yes, it's working.
Okay. By the way, so I sent you a few videos about the adventure, because I think it's nice to see from where we started. So there's this video which basically gives the first ever pitch that we had about the company, where you can see very young and very almost naive, because it was very beginning of the project. So with my friend and business partner, where we explain the project. So this is one pitch. And this is after probably 2 years of development. So we had came from a big prototype to something smaller, but still with a very big focus on the solar aspect. And we learned to become also marketers, because it's a very important aspect of entrepreneurship. But still, there was many mistakes that we made even at that time, because we still needed to learn to listen more to the market. But as you can see here, it's one of the first prototypes we made with a small version of a deployable solar generator, which has in its center part the storage batteries basically, and on the upper level you have all the solar panels, which you can see now on the screen. And it's all automated. It's beautiful. You can basically deploy it. It's quite smart. It can orientate itself to follow the sun, and it can generate enough power to basically have a socket that almost like a socket you take with you everywhere. So this is basically taken from space, the concept taken from space, deployable systems, deployment mechanisms, and turned into a prototype to bring electricity to Earth. But as I will move on into my presentation, I'll show you how this evolved into what we are today, and the company and the product that we are today. And one of the comments we always had from the very beginning is that we were engineers, but we had the capacity to make beautiful products somehow. So this basically also turned into our DNA. Okay, so this basically turned into our DNA because we liked to design functional systems, but which also are beautiful. And as we moved on into the development of our company, basically we moved into an even more beautiful product, which is the next version of this deployable solar generator that you saw. And basically it's in my bag here. Probably better to share it here. So as you can see here, this is the second version of our deployable solar generator, which has all the aspects we developed in the first version. But now we have the capacity to basically take the solar parts away and end up with the solar part if we want, but also the storage if it's necessary. And when we started working on this version, we were about to launch a campaign and go into fundraising. And that's basically when something happened, which we are all familiar about, which is the pandemic last year. And everything changed because the market which we were aiming at was the events. And we all know what happened to the event industry. That's you know, the market was changing. So our expertise, our capacity to design quickly a product that is highly efficient and also beautiful, and adapt ourselves to the needs. And the needs for our clients is to be able to work everywhere. It's basically to power all the kind of devices that we have in our daily life, but to do this everywhere. And I think in Aurélie, maybe you are also a teleworker. You are used to work, you know, at home and in the garden, or any like in the train maybe. And basically, we figured out that basically this was a big need, and that the COVID pandemic was actually increasing this need. And as a company, as a startup, we have to be able to focus to that need and listen to the need of the market. So we quickly took our engineering expertise, our ability to go quickly and make a product that basically fits a need, and developed basically our first ever highly efficient power bank that can power all the kinds of devices that we have in our daily lives. So we came from this aspect that I showed you, steadily moved away from the deployment mechanisms, which basically was the very first reason why we launched the company, but focus now more into the main core, which is bringing electricity. And yeah, I think this is this will be announced very soon, but we're launching this product into the market this month. So it's I think avant-première, I would say in French. So we launched this portable battery, which has everything you need to basically power all kinds of laptops to take with you everywhere and basically have power. So this is a Pico battery with very efficient technologies inside that can basically turn into sockets like a grid that you can take with you everywhere. And we are providing this solution to major clients groups. So this was a big change between our first vision and what we're doing now. We started with a B2C approach, and now we are really into a B2B approach because our clients are SNCF, the train provider in France. We have Amadeus. We have EDF, Électricité de France. We have big companies which actually have this need to provide a solution for their workers, for their employees to work at the office, but also take the solution and go into the gardens. For example, when we are here in a very nice place in Cannes, where we have our offices, but we have probably 500 or 600 square meters of garden and no sockets to plug the electricity. We're just limited by the battery of our computer. And with this solution, we can extend the lifespan of your computer, but also your autonomy by tens of hours. So that's what we are now. So if you look at the products now and our vision in the very beginning, you can say, okay, where is the link? But the link is quite clear. It's really to focus on the need of the client, to be able to pivot quickly and be as close as possible to the clients and to the need, and still, gather as much expertise and as much experience to be able to strike and basically go and grow. So that's basically the story in a very short way. I don't know if Oli, you need me to focus into some specifics of my presentation, or if there is anything I should mention more.
No, maybe you can explain how does it works exactly. Maybe give more detail about the products.
Okay. I will probably share the presentation because it will be a better way. Okay. Okay, so now, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
You
so
also
as a company,
your logo when
yes.
Business model.
It's a transformation, when we like an evolution. Basically, when the company evolves, you have to evolve around the marketing, you have to evolve around the way we communicate. As we have evolved for the product. So as we are a B2B company, we have of course changed a little bit about the colors and everything, but we still have the DNA of space in our logo. And just this for a small anecdote, but so the blue point of OSOL is basically the Earth, and the big O is the sun. So this was taken from from Acting Space. Basically, we're bringing solutions, just as we brought solar from space to Earth, and it's still very present in our DNA in everything we do today. And so just I'll talk about the product as it is now and what we do like currently with the product, and then I'll take probably a few minutes to talk about our contribution to the space industry, because we have an interesting story about it. So yes, as I mentioned earlier, last year with the pandemic and the world closing and the big impacts that we had in various sectors, we quickly adapted ourselves and knew that there was a need for electricity and for mobility as the world was changing. And there was a trend which was actually taking on last year, which is of course remote working and the ability to be flexible and adaptable, to work everywhere and be able to do a Skype conference or Zoom conference at home, but then take a train and do it somewhere else. And this basically shaped the way that we designed the product. So the Pico battery, which I just showed you here, comes with a station where basically the product is locked into it. And I think I can also share. So it's right here with me, as you can see it. So this is the base station, basically, where we can plug our batteries. And the idea is, for example, you already at your job, you can come in the morning and you can put your badge, or via our application, you can log into this service and take one battery with you. It will unlock it and it will provide you electricity, so you can, for example, work independently of the location of the grid. And this is valid for B2B, like big groups or big companies, and it's also the case for universities, for example. And we all have good memories of big amphitheaters crowded, where everyone goes to the walls because that's where the socket is. Basically, this product solves this problem as well, and it solves it in various for various clients. But big groups is basically one. It's one area where this is very, very interesting, because if you have salespeople which basically are always on the move and end up with a laptop which doesn't have battery, basically this is a solution. And it comes with the last technologies, like in terms of USB, in terms of inverters. We have a highly efficient product, and we're coming close to 96% of efficiency. So it's a very, very powerful and very compact solution for workers. And one other aspect of the product is it's smart, because we have many sensors inside the product, and we can basically provide you with numerous data from the way you work, but also how energy is used and how it could be improved. So this is just a quick words about this product, and of course we come back to the needs and to the vision of OSOL from the very beginning, which is providing energy everywhere. And basically we need energy and electricity for outside meetings, for transportation, for remote working, but also for outdoor, for events. It's still omnipresent, I would say, even now. So this product is going public, and we are launching this with our clients. We multiplied our revenue by 5, our expected revenue by 5, and we are very, very excited to work with the very, very big companies in the coming months with this product. So I think that's pretty much about it about the product, and I would say that you have to stay in touch because a lot is coming in the coming weeks about this, and we're even today we started going public with a press release. So many things is to come, I would say. And
thank you very much.
Aurélie, if you want, I can also talk about our proximity with the space industry, because of course we are related to CNES from Act in Space. But a few years ago, as the finances were not going so well, I would say, as a startup, we started investigating where we could basically survive, and the product was very hard to put into the market. So the first version of the deployable solar generator, because we were burning so much cash, and we didn't make the bridge with the market. And of course, at some point, if you don't have the cash necessary, you just you just end the adventure, and we did not want to end the adventure. So we looked into various areas where we could basically survive, and and bring our expertise basically, and figure what the space industry is where we came from, and we went there and discussed with a few companies, CNES, Airbus, Alice, so some big names in the industry, and we figured out that our ability to deploy a large surface for some interesting technologies, cells technologies, was interesting for the space industry. So we kind of went like a spin-off from the space industry, and then we decided maybe we could make again a spin into the industry, and we worked for 2 years on some concepts for nano satellites, where we basically developed some interesting concepts to deploy like different technologies of cells, of photovoltaic cells, but for small satellites. And basically, this is how we developed a second axis in our company, which is the consultant aspect. So we provided some service, some engineering services to CNES, to Airbus, to Thales, and this is basically how we were able to gain expertise, even more expertise, to have the recognition that we needed also for the technology while we were developing this product and the product for the Earth application. So I'm very happy to say that we, as a company, were able to work and bring electricity both for the space industry, but also on Earth, even if now we are really putting our 100% like effort into, I would say, the Earth market.
Yeah, and so thank you for this. And this is making the link with one of the question was there are still a link with your OSOL base and the space sector, or because on the first project it was there are a link with patent from CNES, I think, but for the last one there are still a link with space sector, or it's not.
So our vision is to bring energy in mobility, and we moved from, of course, this deployable solar generator, which is still on hold in the way that it's still there. We have a patent on it, and it's still waiting there, but it needs a lot of funds. And we decided that this was a way to actually go on into the market and gain a lot of experience into the industrialization and go where the need is, basically, which is, I think, the main objective of an entrepreneur. But it's still in the company. I would say we're not leaving completely this project. It will come back at some point. But even in this project that we've developed, we have aspects related to the space industry. So in the sensors that we have included into this battery, we have some navigation, satellite navigation area. So of course the GPS, but we have also other sensors that can provide our clients or our organization some very interesting data about how is the energy used, where it is used, how it is used. Of course, it's very different from the mechanical, very visible thing that you can relate with OSOL. But as I said, we're still working on the space industry now, but on a consultancy approach. But in the future, I hope that this deployable system will come back, and that we will be able to close the loop and have a solar generator also for Earth. That would be nice, a nice storytelling, I would say.
Okay. So just for the participant, you can ask question on the question panel. So I have another one question for you about the OSOL Pico. How does it work exactly, and how long it takes to charge a computer, for example, and what kind of device can you charge?
So basically, with this Pico battery, you can charge it in the station. So probably a good way is to just show how it works. So take it and you just plug it here, and the station will recharge it quite quickly. So there's a technology, a fast charging technology that is included in the base. We can charge it in less than 1 hour. And once you basically take it with you, and if you plug it in, depending on how you plug it, so if you use the USB-C which is the last version of this technology. If you power a laptop like a MacBook or like a high-end laptop, you can add between 15 and 20 hours more in terms of time of usage. But if you plug it into a larger laptop, of course, it will be a little less. But it depends on what you plug into it. But the whole idea is that with this product, you can power your tablet, your smartphone, your laptop, even your camera, anything basically for at least one day. And you can charge it in the station, but you can also plug it at home if the organization wants. So we have a communication system inside. So basically, if your if your company organization gives you the ability to take this at home, then you can of course plug it into a socket wall. You can charge it. So it's a versatile tool. It's really like a Swiss knife, but for energy.
Okay, it's very interesting. So do you have more questions? I'm waiting for now. No other question. I have just a question about your first project. Do you still sell it, or you stop to sell it?
So we suppose flowers. So it's yeah. So it's in pause because of what happened last year, and so one of our main market was the event industry, because we made beautiful. It was beautiful and useful. We took our first prototype into some festivals here in the south of France, and it was a big success because not only was it efficient, so it was used to power some booths or some areas in the festivals, but it was also beautiful. But as we moved on in our market analysis, we discovered that it was still a niche, and that we had to expand our market. And the COVID pandemic happened, and of course it shut down the event industry. And you need to adapt quickly, and you need to change your product and adapt to the need. And basically, where the need was, we went to.
Yeah.
But it's still on hold. It's still on pause. And as I said, I hope that in the end we will be able to still have. I'm just saying this here, but probably we'll have something deployable, like something related to what you can see back here, but associated, for example, with this base station. So now you can basically have 10 or 20 socket grids everywhere, even outside. So who knows?
Yeah. We have another question about this project. Is does the project turn itself towards the sun?
Yes, the first version, yes, was designed to be like a sunflower. So at night it would fold back, and it will be in sleep mode. And during the day, as the sun comes, basically it would fold. We can track it to maximize production. Yes. Okay. So the piece of engineering was very interesting when we started it, and it was very pleasing as engineers to develop it. But as I said, when you're an entrepreneur, there is the technology, there is the entrepreneur, there is the engineering aspect, which is very important. But the most important of it all is being able to sell a product and being able to be close to your market. And we learned this throughout the years. And I would say this is how we are still here, because otherwise it's difficult to just focus on the tech and only technology, only engineering. If you don't sell it, if you don't have a strategy to sell, if you don't have a strategy to be close to the market, it's, I would say, useless. So, and hopefully we learned that, and we were able to train ourselves, and we were able to learn to listen to our clients and to the market. And this is how we evolved, and this is how we pivoted slowly into this product, which, as I said, last year we thought that we would make that the need was there would be a traction, but the traction was multiplied by 5, and now we are dealing with the leaders in the market in the co-working places, for example. We are dealing with the leaders in desk services. we're working with like major groups, as I said, EDF, Amadeus, Thales, even Thales, Alenia Space. We're working with them on this project. So the traction is very, very big with this product, and so that's why we're putting 100% efficiency with 100% effort into making it a successful product.
And I think we have a last question. And do you think to add solar panel on the Pico project?
So on the base station, yes, that will be part of our technology roadmap. And the idea is, of course, to bring a nice solar panel, so nice, probably deployable. So I said in earlier, I don't want to spoil something, but we'll see in the future what we can make. But the idea is, of course, to have this product in a highly mobile situation. You can take this even for the tree when it comes back, but for any situation where we would have solar panel, which would basically store the electricity into the Pico, and then you can have this mobility, so you can take the battery and go work anywhere. So this is for the future.
And I have a naive question myself. And can you imagine to have a solar panel inside, for example, to just behind the window, and or it's have to be outside to be efficient?
Well, if you have a panel by the window, of course, as soon as it can see light, it will create energy, it will create electricity. But of course, it all depends about how much sun there is, if there is clouds. If you're not putting it where there's some shade, it all depends about this. But no, a window doesn't do anything here, except probably heating it a little bit, which decreases the efficiency. But no, doesn't matter.
Okay, thank you. I think we don't have other questions. So I will thank you for your participation. It was very interesting.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I wish you good luck.
Thank you, and thank you for all it's a big network, because as I said earlier, we started as engineers and we had to become entrepreneurs, and the transition was made through the help of our network. And of course, an incubator is where you learn to become a businessman more than an engineer or a designer, or your initial training. And we did this hopefully successfully, and that's why I think today we are able to launch this project and start a success story, I hope.
Okay, great. So thank you very much, and good afternoon to everyone, and bye-bye.
Thank you, Ali. Thank you. Bye-bye.